You've got a pension and you're still working. You don't need the money. What should you do with it? CD Financial, where health meets wealth. That's a great question. A lot of you listening are in this scenario. You might have VA disability. You might have a reservist pension. You might have Social Security and you're 70 years old and you're still a federal employee and working. You can't delay your Social Security past 70. You've already blown it up enough. Now you start to take it. What do? By the way, if you're a federal employee, family member, or retiree, and you've come here, you've come to the right place. We work with federal families every day, and we just love it. So we welcome you. Now let's talk about that. Today I was asked, Charles, I've got to take my Social Security. It's $3,700, and I don't know what to do with it. Now, in this case, I already knew what the family situation was, but I'm going to ask you several questions always. Do you have any bad debt? Credit card debt? Even a car loan above, say, 3%, 3.5%? Do you have a HELOC, home equity line of credit, or a student loan? If you wiped out all the bad debt and you've got an emergency fund, let's say 6 months of money sitting in savings, now you're in a good place. What should you do with your money? In this case, they were putting 5% of their money into their TSP, 5%. And it was all traditional. Now let's say you're in a 22% federal tax bracket. By the way, most states do not tax Social Security if we're talking about that sort of a pension. Or if your VA disability went from like 30% to 70%, again, it's tax-free. Those two sources in most states, Social Security is. VA disability is almost always tax-free. So with that in mind, what do you do about it? Federal tax on a pension, maybe let's say you're in a 22% tax bracket. So you got $3,700 from your Social Security. But what do you net? What will you bring home? Well, 370 from 3,700s, that's 10%. So just double that. So you've got $740. So you got almost $3,000, $2,940 to work with every month. Guess what? She could increase in this scenario. Her 5% was about $251. So the other traditional money, let's go ahead and make a Roth TSP and start building that. Why does that matter? Oh, by the way, that amount, I'll tell you in a minute. So there's money that grows taxable, like a CD, it'll grow taxable. Or a mutual fund, it grows taxable along the way. So if you're at 22%, let's say 20% federal tax, 5% state, and you get 4% in a CD, not really. At the end of the year, you're going to get taxed. 20% Fed, let's say 5% state, you're only going to net 3% because you gave up 1/4 of your taxes, 1/4 to the tax man. So there's taxable money. Then there's money that grows tax deferred. That's like your traditional IRA, 401ks, TSP. It grows taxable, but you're deferring it till later. Then there's money that grows tax-free. That's Roth money. That money's awesome. That's just stupendous. So if you can do that, in this case, we started a TSP Roth for $923, and the max will be met. And that's great for two different reasons. You're putting money away tax-free, so any growth that happens, it'll be tax-free the rest of your life. When you go to withdraw it, tax-free. If family members or loved ones inherit the money, that's right, tax-free. It's always tax-free. It's a one and done on Roth. What's the other special thing that's going to happen? They never had a Roth before. If you've never had a Roth before, now you start that tick, 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 tick. It's a 5-year clock. And if you establish a Roth for 5 years, then the money, when you go to withdraw it after 5 years, it's all yours. How's that sound? So you get tax-free growth. You'll never pay taxes on that money again, one and done. And after 5 years, the clock starts ticking. It's all yours. So it's a fantastic way to take pension money that you don't need, or Social Security money, or whatever it is. And if you're in a good place financially, then you can start to use this money to grow for you and nobody else. Forget the IRS, forget the state governments in your Roth money. Remember, you don't have to work longer. You just need a better plan. CD Financial, where health meets wealth.